Hello there. My name is Pat, aka LUA Crew, if you're looking at this from YouTube. Basically, I'm doing this purely because a friend of mine has a YouTube show, kind of jealous, suggested that I do one. Since I'm so full of me, I decided I'd give it a shot, see what happens. So, the only thing I really have to say right now is just, at least the one idea I have for this kind of show is purely just to do some reviews of comic books that I read today, because today was actually a banner fucking day for comic books as far as I'm concerned. First thing I read was Harley Quinn #0. It's by a litany of artists, written by the married team of Dewey Palmiotti and Amanda Connor. I didn't actually have to look at that. I don't know if that looked big. Basically, it's meta as fuck. It's literally Harley talking to Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor while they write a book about Harley Quinn. I don't know if the rest of the series is going to be like this way. If it is, that's awesome, because as far as I'm concerned, this book was awesome. This was really fucking fun. It's very much in the tone of like Looney Tunes, which I guess was the point. And it's very much, as I said, meta as fuck. It's, if you know anything about Amanda Connor, Jimmy Palmiotti, any of the artists, the way comic books are made, any of that crap, the more you know, the more entertaining the book is. I don't know how well the book's going to work if you don't know any of this stuff. I'd still say give it a try. See if you dig it. If you don't, that's fine. I know some people that were hella disappointed with it. I was not. Maybe my low expectations helped me. I dug it. Next up, Aquaman, #25. The end of Jeff Johns' stellar fucking run, where he's actually made the world know what a lot of people have known, well, at least some people have known forever, which is that Aquaman doesn't suck. Aquaman is actually awesome. He is by far one of the greatest and by far the most underrated superhero on the planet. And Jeff Johns has brought him to a place of extreme respectability. So much so that I'm actually really bummed he's gone as of this month, even though apparently there's a tease in the book that there's going to be another Aquaman Justice League crossover like there was recently, which I'm not terribly psyched for in terms of just another crossover with the Justice League, but as far as the book goes, more Jeff Johns and Aquaman, that's good stuff. The book itself, I mean, it's a great tie-up of everything he's done, but at the same time, it's really just leaves everything hanging in the name of the next epic crossover of the Justice League. So in that sense, it's not terribly satisfying, but in the end, the only really satisfying ending he had was Green Lantern, and even then, it's a matter of trying to end a story when it's an endless story, because the whole point of comic books is that they never end. Like, that's the whole point, is Spider-Man will exist long after Stan Lee is gone. Bob Kane and Bill Finger created Batman, both are dead. It still lives. It's more popular now than ever. So in the end, it's impossible to end any story in comic books, unless the publishers go to hell, in which case, that's really a day I hope never comes, but that's pretty much the only chance you'll ever have to truly get an ending. But in the end, it's the whole point of they are characters who will live forever, because even if they die in comic books, it really doesn't mean anything. Really, they've said before, like, the only people that are completely off limits are Uncle Ben and Bruce Wayne's parents, because they actually created their heroes. Because other than that, really, Christ, they brought back Bucky, and it was amazing. So really, what else can you say? I mean, death in comics book may be meaningless, and it's a storytelling device, but I mean, it's the nature of the beast in something that's a story that never ends, because you never really want to lose any character. Speaking of endings, the last issue of Infinity came out. I don't completely appreciate Marvel raping me on prices the way they did for this issue and the first issue, but as a whole, it's not a home run on Hickman's part, but it's damn solid. I mean, granted, I'm kind of biased because I'm a huge Inhumans fan, I'm a huge Thanos fan, both of which got to have, I mean, it's basically built around them. And in that sense, it succeeds, especially because they're just setting up Marvel, I guess, for the next couple of years. Even though the Inhumanity book is going to go as a one-shot for like 4 months because of Joe Mad. But as events go, it was a solid event, lots of action, everything you kind of want from an event. Not terribly satisfying as a whole, but in fairness, most events aren't, because with the exception of like, let's say like Civil War, where it literally had like a beginning, middle, and end. I mean, it had repercussions that were lasting, but in the end, most books don't really have any kind of. It's the whole nature of a story that never ends. You're telling part of a story that never ends, and you're telling a big action-packed part, but you're still just telling a part of a story that never ends. So it's like the end of. It's like Watchmen. Like nothing. It's like better in the end. Nothing ever ends. That's the way it works. But Infinity as a whole, I don't regret picking it up. I'm not stoked that Marvel felt the need to charge $5 for the first issue and $6 for the last issue. But still, solid read. I'd read it again. I have read it again with the digital copies that you get. I read them on Comixology. Solid series. Miniseries. First issue, Beginnings. Because I was talking about endings, now it's beginnings. First issue, Black Science #1, Rick Remender. Something that I picked up purely because of Rick Remender, but as much as I love Rick Remender and what he does, not everything he does do I feel like is amazing. There's, in fairness, what artist, everything they do is amazing. That's just the nature of the beast, that nobody can really ever always be hitting home runs. I think I was kind of hoping for it to be a little bit more like Fear Agent, and it's not at all like Fear Agent. I don't think I'll be checking out the next issue, but I don't regret reading it. If you like, the best thing I can compare it to is the Brian Azzarello series, Spaceman, that came out a couple years ago. If you like that series, it's probably right up your fucking alley, and I recommend the shit out of it. I'm not personally into mixing like sci-fi comics and horror comics. It just doesn't work for me. Not saying it's a bad book. Fine book. Just didn't really play to my sensibilities at all. However, speaking of Remender and things that do play to my sensibilities, Resident Evil Uncanny Avengers, the new one. Big shit happens. Big deaths. Really want to spoil them, but I'm not going to because I'm not a complete asshole. Mostly an asshole, but a complete asshole. But it's an issue where a lot of the plot threads they've been building managed to come together in a really huge manner that I did not expect. I mean, they said there was going to be deaths. Didn't expect the deaths that happened. I mean, one of them I did. But the other two actually kind of astonished me. Granted, as I said before, death in comics means nothing. But still, as a storytelling device, which it is, Rick Remender managed to use the fuck out of that device. Because holy shit, I literally, towards the end of the book, had my fucking jaw dropped in awe for most of it. It's just, I can't really speak that much about it without spoiling the shit out of it, but the character work in it is just astonishing. Truly uncanny, if you will. What do I say without spoiling anything? Basically, the main thing I would talk about is the conflicts between the people that they've been building between finally come to a head, whereas the conflicts between the new Horsemen and the new the Uncanny Avengers that have affected them coming to a head, and it's a really emotionally satisfying issue. It's the best way I can think to put it. It's not even the last issue of the arc, so I'm not really sure where they're going to go from here, but I'm actually really stoked to see. Anyway, last not least, Saga. Always amazing, every month. I don't know what else to say. Really, if you're not reading Saga, I don't know what the hell's the matter with you. It is by far the best book on the stands, and I think one day will be one of the best books ever written. This is your chance, while it's going on right now, to be a part of something that is currently going on with, pick a book. Preacher, Sandman. These books that are totemic. You have a chance to be on the ground floor and actually be part of that discussion. And you can just say, I remember when. Why are you not reading Saga? Seriously. There's no reason to not be reading Saga. They managed to combine sci-fi, fantasy, action, romance, basically every element of comics you could possibly want into one book by one of the great and most underrated writers in the history of comics, Brian K. Vaughan, and an outstanding artist in Fiona Staples. I cannot stress this enough. For the love of God, go out and get Saga. The first trade, second trade, and as many books as you can get. Just trust me on this, just get it. Saga is amazing.